Taught greatest commandment in silence, hearts transformed. Come closer, my friend. Today I will share with you a moment that changed not only the hearts of those who stood before me, but the course of faith for generations to come. Listen carefully, and as you hear my words, let them stir something within you. If this story moves your heart, I invite you to share your thoughts in the comments below and walk with me until the end of this journey. I remember the day vividly. The temple courts were crowded, filled with voices, sandals shuffling across stone, the rustle of garments, and the sharp scent of incense carried by the breeze. My presence had drawn both admiration and suspicion. Some hungered for my words, while others longed for my downfall. They had tried to trap me before, with questions about taxes, about authority, about the resurrection. Each time their intent was not to learn but to expose, to humiliate. That day a teacher of the law stepped forward, his robes neat, his eyes sharp. He thought his question would corner me. "Teacher," he said, "which is the greatest commandment in the law?" The air grew still. Around us, whispers rose and then fell silent. Many leaned closer, waiting to see what I would answer. Would I favor one command and neglect another? Would I stumble and divide the very law I came to fulfill? For a moment, I chose silence, not out of hesitation, but because silence itself speaks. In that pause, I let them feel the weight of their own motives, their restless curiosity, their thirst for debate rather than truth. And in that stillness, I gathered every heart in that place. Then I spoke. My voice was steady, not raised, but it carried across the courtyard like a clear stream cutting through stone. "You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your mind. This is the first and greatest commandment, and the second is like it. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. On these two commandments depend all the law and the prophets." A hush fell. Some lowered their gaze, troubled yet stirred. Others stared as if the ground beneath their feet had shifted. What they expected was argument. What I gave them was the heart of everything they claimed to defend. For the law they studied was never meant to be a prison of rules, but a pathway to love. Every sacrifice, every statute, every prophecy pointed to this truth. Love God fully. Love people deeply. Everything else flows from this river. As I looked at their faces, I saw more than scholars and critics. I saw men burdened with pride, yet secretly thirsty for freedom. I saw common people, weary from rules piled upon them by leaders who had forgotten mercy. And I saw the beginnings of transformation, not through debate, but through revelation. The days after were not easy. Many who heard me wrestled with those words. Love demands more than knowledge. It demands surrender. Some clung tighter to their positions, whispering in shadows about silencing me for good. Others pondered quietly, unable to shake what they had heard. I walked among the people as they worked and lived. Stone houses lined the streets of Jerusalem, their walls sun-warmed during the day and cool at night. Markets buzzed with voices selling bread, olives, fish, and spices. The air carried both the laughter of children and the cries of the poor. It was in these streets, not just in the temple, that love was meant to live. To love your neighbor was not theory. It was bread given to the hungry child, a cloak laid over the shivering beggar, forgiveness extended to the one who wounded you. That is why I spoke as I did, for love is not distant, it is present. It is not hidden in scrolls, it is written on hearts. And now, dear friend, I ask you, how do these words strike you so far? Do you find yourself challenged, comforted, or perhaps unsettled? Share with me in the comments what stirs inside you, for your voice matters in this journey. Still, the commandment was not only for the people, it was for my disciples too. They followed me closely, yet often argued over who was greatest among them. Even they needed to learn that greatness is not measured in status, but in love poured out. I remember Peter, bold but quick to stumble, learning through failure that love restores more than strength. I remember John, young and tender, leaning on me at the table, later proclaiming that God is love itself. And I remember Judas, torn by ambition and doubt, who could not embrace the command that might have saved him. Love is costly. It requires patience when wronged, humility when provoked, courage when rejected. It calls for the heart, the soul, the mind, all that you are. That is why it is the greatest. The religious leaders grew restless. My words were striking chords among the people, but not all were ready to sing that melody. Some hardened themselves further, planning in secret, preparing chains and crosses in the shadows of their minds. Yet I did not fear them, for I knew the commandment of love would not end with my silence. It would roar through generations. My friend, thank you for walking with me this far into the story. I honor your patience and your presence. Stay close, for what you are about to hear is even greater. The best is still to come. Love was tested in the deepest valley, the night I was betrayed, the morning I was condemned, the hour I was lifted on the cross. The world mocked love as weakness, but on that cross love proved stronger than death, for it was not nails that held me there, but love for God and for you. After I rose, my followers understood more deeply what I had spoken in the temple courts. They remembered my silence, my words, my actions, and they carried the commandment into every corner of the world. John would write, "Whoever does not love does not know God, for God is love." Paul would declare, "If I have all knowledge but have not love, I am nothing." These truths spread like fire, transforming households, cities, nations. Love healed the wounded, welcomed the stranger, lifted the broken. It overcame hatred, endured persecution, and defied empires. Kings and rulers rose and fell, but love outlasted them all. And today, that same commandment still calls to you. Love God with all you are. Love your neighbor as yourself. It is not a suggestion, it is the essence of life. Look around your world. See the divisions, the wounds, the fears. Do you not see how desperately love is needed? Yet this love is not beyond your reach. It is as near as your next act of kindness, your next word of forgiveness, your next prayer of devotion. The silence in the temple was the seed. The words I spoke were the root. The fruit is still growing in you if you choose it. So I ask you now, will you live by fear, pride, and division, or will you walk the path of love? The choice is yours, but its impact will ripple far beyond you. If these words have touched you, do not let them remain silent. Share your reflections in the comments below. I want to hear your heart. Subscribe so that together we may continue this journey of faith and discovery. And do not miss the next story, where even greater truths await you. Until then, carry this with you. Love God fully, love your neighbor deeply, and you will find life itself.